Hi, George. Welcome back. You can put that down.
I'll hang on to it. By the way, I can't stay long. I want to get to the soup kitchen for lunch at noon today.
George, I'm so glad that you stayed safe this week and that you made it back. Did you get to those morning meetings and follow up with the Sober House?
Yeah, I made the meeting at Davidson Hall every morning. And I've gone up to the Sober House about 3 days for the pre-orientation meeting. Hope they get a bed soon. I'm tired of sleeping in a tent in the Governor Street woods.
Well, let's take a minute and talk about the meetings. Did you write anything down?
Not really. But I did write about the first step, like you said. You know, I've been going to that meeting for a while now. And helps me get the day started, keeps me from going to the liquor store. Hey, I walked by this one guy I know this morning, and he asks me if I want to take a hit of some of his brandy. I was tempted for a minute, but I told him no and kept walking to the meeting. That never would have happened when I was drinking.
What helped you say no?
I mean, I thought about how good it would taste, but then I thought about living in a tent and trying to get into the Sober House. I just couldn't do it.
George, you have worked very hard to get this opportunity for a place to live. Did you share at the meeting?
Yeah, I did. We laughed about how when we were drinking, nobody ever offered us nothing for free.
Any other close calls? Any urges to drink?
No. It's been pretty smooth this week between going to the meetings and to the Sober House and coming here.
Okay. Well, I know you're in a hurry, so I won't keep you. But this week, I want to start talking about the process of surrender in AA. More to the point, understanding step 2 came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity, and step 3 made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God, as we understand Him.
I'd like to hear what you have to say. I'm not much of a church person. Some of the guys at the meetings go all the time. I just don't want to be on the street anymore. The church stuff bothers me. That's why I never went to the Sally.
You mean the Salvation Army program?
Yeah.
We never talked about this, but I wondered why you wouldn't go for their residential program when you were looking for sober housing, especially since you were so desperate. You and I never talked about religion or your beliefs. What I want us to talk about is spirituality, not religious beliefs necessarily. Let me start by saying the second step out loud. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. What do you think? Any reactions or thoughts?
People called me crazy on the street for years. I wouldn't take any kind of grief from nobody. If you got in my face, I'd come right back at you. I've been in a lot of fights. Getting tired of living in a tent and being on the street. Just this past weekend, I was sleeping on a bench in the park. Someone jumped me and I lost my cell phone.
I understand. And hopefully you'll have a safe place soon. So what do you believe in? What keeps you going? Gives you a sense of hope?
I do believe you guys can help, and I believe Rick from the Sober House can help. Not much more. I've known the guys from that meeting for a long time. I used to drink with them. I see what they do out there.
What religious background were you raised in?
Not much. I never knew my mom, and my dad was either away or he came home drunk. I was in foster care and at the orphanage. My foster parents made us go to church on Sundays, but it was just an outing for me. The religious part didn't mean much. I thought if there was a God, I wouldn't have had such a hard time of it. Then when my girlfriend Norma died a few months ago, I started drinking really hard. And Rick found me at the Sober House and started talking to me about getting off the street and into a sober house, and said I should come to the drop-in center, so I started coming here.
That was really good advice Rick gave you. I've known him for a long time from his work with United Charities here in town. He's a really good guy. Really glad that you made a decision to keep coming back here. Sounds like you were pretty lost after Norma died, like you were pretty lost in your grief. I was wondering how that's going now. What comforts you? Are you talking to anybody about this?
I've been alone all my life. Life has taught me that you're on your own. I don't have much faith that anyone wants to or will help me.
Have you thought about talking to Rick about this? We do have a grieving program here at the center, too. Sometimes it helps to believe in a higher power. And that power that's greater than ourselves can be the AA group. I mean, we're more powerful as a group than any one of us alone. Anything that's not us will work. I mean, I even had a guy who used his favorite coffee mug as his higher power, you know? Whatever works for you.
I used to collect bottles and scrap metal to sell for money, but that was stupid because I drank it away. Since I found that AA meeting, guess I'll use the Davidson Hall group for now. I do like the guys there.
That's a good place to start. Keep your mind open to this idea of a higher power when you sit in the meetings. And we'll talk more about this over the next few weeks. So, what's this about being insane? What were those AA people thinking when they wrote this?
I told you I can act really crazy when I have to. I've been in some really bad fights and got arrested.
I know you have. Being insane here means all of the unmanageability that has happened in our lives. For you, being homeless, getting arrested, getting into fights, running away. It can also mean doing the same behavior, acting in the same way and expecting things to go differently. You know, like getting drunk and expecting that somehow things will work out differently.
So living in a tent for 2 years, that's pretty crazy, huh? Well, I'm getting tired of that. I want a real place to live. I'm not getting any younger. I can't crash at Norma's anymore. And there ain't always a bed at the shelter.
You're right. That was pretty crazy behavior. Directly connected to your drinking.
Hey, what time is it? I want to catch the bus to the soup kitchen.
It's almost 11. Okay, so we'll wrap this up and we'll keep going next week. I'll see you next week, George, and stay safe, okay?
Okay.